How you doing? Pat here from chestuptraining.com, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to talk about everybody's favourite topic, fat loss. So online, I've been having a lot of online clients asking me this question, even contacting me through blog posts and stuff like that, as well as in-person clients asking the same thing, especially the ones that are just getting into it, and coming into the Christmas period and New Year, and especially in Australia here with summer just around the corner, everyone's wanting to drop a few kilo and look their best. So what I figured I'd do is I'll talk about 3 things that I think are the most important things to focus on, especially if you are just starting to make that lifestyle change. And these 3 things are a positive addition to a lifestyle. So I'm a big believer in adding positive things, especially in the beginning, rather than taking away negative ones, because if you're ripping away things that you like to do which are negative, like say smoking or eating bad things anyway, it tends to be a lot harder to stick to. But if you can add positive things and get the ball rolling, and as you get into a system and a routine, you can start to take away those things that are leaving a negative impact on lifestyle and also that the body and the fat. So these 3 things are 100% tried and true. It's not one of those scientific things where this will work for certain people and metabolisms and body types and all that kind of crap. These 3 methods will work 100% for anyone, no matter what stage of life you're in, especially if you're not keeping track of it. I would say that the people who aren't doing any of these things and are really just at the very start of making that change will probably notice a bigger change from it, but I think everyone can benefit in some way or another from these 3 things. So, where are we going to go with this now? I'm kind of drawing a blank. I should have written the script, right? So, the first one, I'm going to start with probably the least impactful and then go up to the most impactful. So, the first one is going to be move more. So everyone thinks that they move enough, and unfortunately that's not true. If you look at just the average person and how much time they spend sitting and not moving, so in their jobs, they get home from the job and they're sitting again doing nothing in front of the TV, people just aren't as active as they used to be. Now this stuff really seems very obvious, and these 3 things are going to seem obvious, but we have to keep talking about them. If they're that obvious, people will be doing them, and they're not. So we need to focus on them and get talking about them so it's front of mind. So moving more. Moving more is the first thing that I would suggest. So there's 2 different ways to focus on moving more. So if you have an office job and you're sitting around, you're doing, jack shit all day, and you're not moving anywhere, you're going to have to find different ways when you're getting from point A to point B, and point A is pretty much your bed, and point B is when you get back to your bed. So there is no shorter distance between that. It's like when you get up in the morning to when you go to bed, that's opportunity to move. So what we're looking at is what's referred to as NEBA, or non-exercise based activity. So these things can be just the guy that takes the stairs instead of the elevator, right? But there's plenty of different things that you can do, and things like the Fitbits, they're fantastic for it. They give you a little buzz if you haven't been moving for that hour. But just little things, anything that you can think of. If your alarm goes off, set an alarm for every hour and do some squats. Walk around, do something that's going to get your heart pumping a little bit and just increase the amount of calories that are being burnt. So that's the first one in the 2 that I want to mention. The other one is training. So once again, it seems very, very obvious talk about training, but people aren't training enough. So a lot of my clients, they'll come see me twice a week and then they go, okay, well that's it. I'm good to go for the rest of the week. I've done my 2 sessions, and you can probably imagine they're the ones that come back and they're not getting the results that they're after. So they're getting some results. It is slow going, but it's just not enough. People need to be training every day. So I'm not talking about smashing weights in the gym for an hour every day or whatever, but people need to be devoting at least an hour every day for specific movement and exercise. So that can be 2 days in the gym doing a resistance training with your friend or your trainer or whatever that may be, and the other 5 days of the week going for a 5k walk. It's not that hard. You should be able to knock out 5k in 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long your legs are and just your general physical capabilities and your fitness, and it will get faster and faster as you get more confident with walking. But every day there should be something that you are doing on top of that NEBA to burn through some calories and get moving, get outside, get some fresh air. So that one, non-negotiable, is the first one, but the least impactful of the three. So the second one I want to talk about is water. Water is ridiculous when you think about exactly how much benefit it has to the body above and beyond the obvious. So the obvious is we are, whatever it is, 70% water. I can't remember the exact statistics, you can correct me on it. And we dehydrate and we'll die. That's obvious, right? Everyone knows that. 5-year-olds know that. But let's take a look at the other benefits, specifically to do with fat loss, that water will actually help with. So, one, you start smashing more water, because no one drinks enough water. Everyone thinks, I drink enough water. Even this 8 glasses of water a day bullshit is not enough. It could be for, some 45 kilo girl, but really, everyone should be drinking more water than that. I personally drink between 5 and 8 litres of water a day, depending on my training intensity and how many times I'm training. But water will vary person to person, depending on your size and how much water you need based on your physical exertion through the day. So just try and take a bottle of water with you, drink as much as you can, get one of those big ass 2-litre bottles and make sure you finish that through the day. It will seem hard at the start. You'll be going to the toilet 5 times an hour and you'll be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to take a piss, but that goes away. Your body does adjust. And a big reason for this adjustment is people, they don't drink enough water. And your body, what it does when you don't drink enough water is it retains water. So kind of like a camel. You put yourself or your body in a state where it's always dehydrated, and it will try and hold on to every little bit of water it can, thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be dehydrated at some point and I need to hold on to this shit. Right? So it's funny, actually, the concept is drink less water, you retain more water. Drink more water, you retain less water. Right? So you start giving yourself more and more and more and more water, your body will actually start to go, okay, I don't need to hold on to this as much because it's becoming something that is constantly flowing through me. So I'm not scared of getting dehydrated and dying. So that's a huge one. You will drop a lot of the water weight that you're holding just by flushing as much water through your system as possible. Now, another really, really big positive to the water, how the water affects or benefits fat loss, is your digestive system. Your digestive system runs on that water and that hydration. So if you have an optimally hydrated body, your digestive system will break down and process what you eat much more efficiently. It won't get packed up and you won't have as much issue with things like constipation and different stuff like that. But you'll also be able to pull more nutrients out of the same amount of food that you're eating and then feel better just from having more hydration, right? And then there's other benefits like sleep. If you go to bed and you're fully hydrated, just the benefits that you'll be able to sleep better. There's less stress on things like the heart. You have better circulation. It's better for your skin. There's just shitloads of things that the benefit of water is, it's profound, right? So try and go, 1, move more, regardless, set some time to move more. 2, water. Now, if you can, I just said earlier that I don't like to take things away, but I like to replace or put positive things in. If you can, just drink water. Don't drink sugary stuff, don't drink juice, because juice is horrible, even if you think it's not, because it's like natural, sugar. Sugar's sugar. So, water. If you can, drink more water. If you're really good, drink just water. Yeah? And to see how that affects you. Now, the last one that I want to talk about, which honestly it doesn't really get talked about enough outside of fitness circles. If you talk to a personal trainer, if you talk to a really physically fit person that has a bit of knowledge on fitness and nutrition and lifestyle kind of stuff, it's kind of common knowledge. But you talk to someone who comes in just off the street and they want to make this change about this third point, and it blows their mind how important it is, or how important we think it is, right? And by that I mean they'll come in, they'll come in and I'll say, listen, you have to sleep. You have to sleep more. You're not getting anywhere near enough sleep, and you can't lose fat without enough sleep. Yeah? So obviously you can lose fat, but you're not going to lose as much fat if you don't sleep, right? Sleep is the be-all and end-all of fat loss, and it is also probably the most important thing just for you to function day to day, right? So what happens is if you don't get enough sleep, you put your body into a more stressed state. So it's trying to get everything that it has to do done on a limited amount of fuel, or it's rest, yeah, it's recovery. So first and foremost, that extra bit of sleep is going to take your body out of that stressed state. So less stress, less physical stress, less mental stress, less cortisol production, and that's a huge part of people not being able to drop weight. So you can look up this and just type into Google like sleep and fat loss, and the amount of crap that's going to come up will just blow your mind, right? So you've got the sleep amount, right? But you also have to look at it this way. If you sleep and you get enough sleep, then your body and your nervous system, everything is recharged, and it can deal with I suppose just everything that has to happen through that day, especially if you're adding more exercise or more physically demanding stuff to your day-to-day life. You need to have that recovery. But if you don't get it, if you get like 4 hours sleep, right, and then through the middle of the day you're smashing yourself full of stimulants like caffeine and your V's and all that kind of crap, and then you're getting towards the end of the day and it's like 4 o'clock, and you know when you get that like that slump and then you get that second wind. People get the second wind all the time. They get second wind just before they finish work. They get a second wind before they go to bed. That second wind actually comes from, it's borrowed energy, and it borrows that energy from your immune system, right? So you are more susceptible to getting sick if you're not getting enough sleep. And if you get sick, then you're not going to exercise, and basically just halts your entire life, right? So that's another one of the benefits there. And recovery, right? So if you're recovering enough, you're going to have much more efficient and much more intense workouts, and you're putting your body into a position where it has the energy to burn more. Yeah? So they're the three things that I really, really want to talk about. They seem obvious, but people aren't doing them, because if they were doing them, I wouldn't have to have this conversation 4, 5, 6 times a day. And that's how many times I'm having this conversation. That's why I'm making this video. So, 1, move more. Dedicate time every day, get into a routine to exercise. 1 hour, be it resistance training, interval training, just low intensity walking, something every day, right? Schedule it in. And move more, just through the middle of the day. NEBA, non-exercise based activity. Take the stairs, walk to work, whatever it is, just try and figure out ways to maximize your time in that regard. So, 2, water. Smash water. Alright, so like I said, if you're not a big water drinker, just try and drink as much water as you can. If you want to hit a little bit harder, just drink water and take all the other crap out. Right? And the third one, sleep. You need to sleep. Aim for 8 hours, right? And just try and make that. I mean, that's the reason why that saying there is 8 hours a night is because it pretty much is, I suppose, the best thing to aim for. Your body will tell you if it needs a little bit more, a little bit less, but just try and smash out that 8 hours. So if you do those 3 things from now leading up to Christmas, or, you know, whenever you watch this video, just for 2-3 months, you'll have a really noticeable difference in your body fat and just the way that your body moves, acts, how efficient it is, everything. So, last one before I leave. So maybe this is kind of like 4 steps, but if you are someone who's serious and you really want to make a change, this last step is massive, right? It's not for everyone. Most people, once I say it, they'll go, right? But if you can do it, if you want those results, and if you can stick to it, those 3 things I mentioned, stop drinking alcohol. That's it. They're the 4 things that you can do, and you won't even really need to change that much else in your life until you start getting a bit more serious, but you will notice a huge difference. But alcohol, get rid of it. So it affects way too many things, like hormones. It affects your metabolism. It's a fuel system within itself. So you've probably heard people throwing around macros, and you've got your protein and your fat and your carbohydrates. So essentially it's just things that your body breaks down, can use as fuels, things like that. Alcohol is a really, really easy fuel for your body to use. So if you give it alcohol and you're eating, your body's like, fuck this other shit, I'm going to take the alcohol and burn that because it's easy. You know, it's just like fuel to the fire. But what do you reckon happens to all the other crap that you're eating at that time? Yeah? So it's not as efficient with the way that it, you know, processes it. You're not getting as many nutrients out of it. It's storing some of this other stuff as fat for later. It's just throwing everything out of whack. So I know, especially leading into Christmas and New Year, it's really difficult. Like, people don't, they're like, la la la, they don't want to hear about don't drink alcohol. But you still got time now. If you stop between now and Christmas, you'll notice a huge difference. So anyway, I think I've been talking way too long. I think I'm going to make these videos a little more often, just because I have so many of the same questions popping up, and I think that it'll probably be beneficial to the people that I have online contact me through the website and the blogs, and also in person, that I can direct them to these videos. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll start knocking out this list that I've been making. But there you go, 3 things that will 100% work for your kickstarting your fat loss. So, alright, make sure you check out the website, chestuptraining.com, and you can contact me through there or social media to answer any more of your questions, or to add something to, or a topic to these videos, or the list of these videos. Anyway, have a good one.